Good afternoon, Royal Ones. This is Miss Gigi. I'm coming at you again with another message. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about Miss Harriet Tubman. One of the most powerful quotes that I love from Miss Harriet Tubman. She said, "I had reasoned this out in my mind. There was one or two things I had. There was one or two things I had. I had a right to. I had a right to liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would have the other." Now that's very powerful. That's profound. Um, Miss Harriet Tubman, she was an American abolitionist, humanitarian, and an armed scout and spy for the United States Army during the American Civil War. She was born Harriet Araminta Ross. She was born in 1820, Dorchester County, Maryland. She died March 10th, 1913, in Auburn, New York. Her date of birth is unknown. During a 10-year span, she made 19 trips to the South and escorted over 300 slaves to freedom. After Harriet Tubman escaped from slavery, she returned to slaveholding states many times to help other slaves escape. She led them to safety, to northern free states and to Canada. Harriet was massively injured in the face when a slave overseer threw a 2-pound iron weight at another slave, attempting to punish him. Instead of hitting the young man, the heavy weight struck Harriet on the left side of her head. Tubman endured seizures, severe headaches, and narcoleptic episodes for the rest of her life. She became famous as a conductor on the Underground Railroad during the turbulent 1850s. She was born a slave on Maryland's eastern shore. She endured the harsh existence of a field hand, including brutal beatings. In 1849, she fled slavery, leaving behind her husband and family in order to escape. The Underground Railroad was a system of secret safe houses for slaves to run to escape slavery. They would eat, sleep, bathe, recharge, and travel again to the next safe house, traveling hundreds of miles before sunrise, trying to make it to the north without being captured by slave hunters, also known as bounty hunters. She had the nickname Moses, after Moses from the Bible, because Moses in the Bible led his people out of slavery, just like Harriet Tubman led her people to freedom by going north. This is what upsets so many African Americans and Africans, because the Underground Railroad should have been a sign in the slave master's mind that, hey, I think we went too far. Okay, if someone says no, you should stop. You're doing something against the human will. They hunted them when they tried to run, killed them and beat them and hanged them and tortured them, forcing them to work against one's will. Holding someone in bondage is pure evil, because they didn't. The slaveholders had no conscience, and they did not want to work for themselves or pay wages for work. So they just said, well, how the Africans work for free? Well, how the Africans do it? And then they turn around and want to call the Africans lazy, because they wanted compensation for the work they did. But then the slave master wanted the compensation and free labor. When the white citizens started helping slaves escape, it became well known. This was publicized that this should have been a clue for all of them to stop, immediately. End slavery. This is against someone's will. And what if it was done to them and their kids and their family? They would have been very angry. They wouldn't have survived very long. They couldn't survive very long. Because when people try to impose their will on you, they're really weak. Harriet Tubman should have should have made but a few trips to the South to prove a point to abolish slavery. But the slaveholders got bold, they got ignorant, and they got dangerous and put a bounty on her head, which is so ridiculous and sad. The dynamics of escaping slavery changed in 1850 with the passage of the Fugitive Slave Law. This law stated that escaped slaves could be captured in the North and returned to slavery. Really? How many times must a person say no? Unfortunately, Harriet Tubman died of pneumonia on March 10th, 1913. Before her death, she told her friends and family surrounding her deathbed, "I go to prepare a place for you." Tubman was buried with military honors in Auburn's Fort Hill Cemetery. You know, Harriet Tubman, we celebrate Black History for you. Frederick Douglass, Carter G. Woodson, we giving you honors all month long. We celebrate Black History Month every single day, but this month is just basically celebrated to highlight all of the civil rights leaders who fought for our rights to be here free. Our ancestors who died so that we can live free. I just think that it's so, the autobiography of Harriet Tubman is so powerful. If only they knew they were slaves, a lot of them she could have saved a lot more, rescued a lot more if they just knew in their mind. And this is the whole point of why a lot of people wake up angry and pissed off around the subject. And so this is me just talking about Miss Harriet Tubman today. Let me know, what else do you know about Miss Harriet Tubman? Meet me in the comment section, Royal Ones. Let's have this conversation. I'm not going to talk about this too long. I'm gonna get in and get out because I'm not gonna open up on that part. I just think that they have the nerve to want to call us lazy. And then they want to have the nerve to say that we steal, we thieves, when we were stolen from our motherland, and then all the stuff that they had was stolen from them. But then they want to, say it was our ancestors, and they want to call us, the descendants, lazy. I don't think that should be in our vocabulary when you're talking about blacks. And I don't think that a lot of the African Americans today, I don't think we're lazy. A lot of them suffering from mental illnesses, and so, which is very debilitating. So starting to look at that as another possibility. And I wish that people would stop using the word lazy when it comes to African Americans. Other races of culture of people have gotten accustomed to saying that, and I have really strong pushback about that, because we're everything but lazy. Our ancestors and civil rights leaders are everything but lazy. So, Royal Ones, let's talk about it. Let's jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for listening to this message. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe. Love, hugs, and kisses. Bye.